Hey guys, my name is Jaden, and in today's video, in the next 5 minutes, I will be breaking down my story from how I went from zero in the bank account, depressed, desperate, lost, to now making more than, a doctor's salary at the age of 19. I'm going to be talking about how I literally went from broke, $0 in the bank account, desperate, hopeless, and genuinely lost, all the way to now making more than a doctor's salary at the age of 19. And honestly, guys, the reason why I started this channel is because at 14, when I first got into entrepreneurship, running my marketing agency, I went through the darkest, the most overwhelming times that I promised myself, like, once I crack the code, I will literally do everything in my power to help my younger self out. So how did all of this all start, right? Now, ever since I was young, I never wanted to be normal, right? I always wanted more in life. I just knew that going to college, going to parties, working a 9 to 5, and just being mediocre in my 20s, 30s, I just knew that I didn't want to go down that trajectory. And I always knew I wanted to be extremely wealthy. I wanted to be essentially him, right? I wanted to have the most extravagant things in life. I want to have 10 out of 10s in all areas of my life. I wanted the best girls, to be extremely jacked. I wanted to be the richest. And genuinely, I wouldn't settle for anything less. And actually, seeing my older brother, who was, a very pivotal point in me wanting to change, really did it for me, because he's a typical 9 to 5 guy, right? I love him now, but when I first got into entrepreneurship, guys, like, he was my biggest hater. And he would say comments like, "Jaden, you're a fucking dreamer. You're delusional." And he would talk behind my back and basically spread this narrative that I'm delusional. And even my cousins' parents, right, they wouldn't even want to talk to me because they thought, like, hey, I shouldn't have my kids around this kid because he's telling my kids to meditate and he's delusional. He's not going to get anywhere in life. And to kind of go through that at that age was pretty brutal. But anyways, I got into entrepreneurship at the age of 14. It was basically through Eman Gutsi, the pioneer of this whole SMA space. And I got in through one of his online webinars. And during this time, I had no idea what SMA was or any sort of marketing agencies, right? After this webinar, my whole trajectory in life changed. And I tell you now how overwhelming I felt after watching this. I was so overwhelmed. I was so stressed. I had 4 to 6 pages of notes on my iPad. And not too long after, I officially booked my first meeting. But fast forward, guys, this was my turning point. I was in high school at this time. And once I found out that this business model could potentially make me millions, I was 100,000% sold. And I decided to watch every single video from Eman Gutsi. I literally wanted to be the guy so bad. Pause. One day, I actually stumbled upon his backstory and his story of how he was meditating in the bathrooms and how he had no friends in school. I thought to myself, if I wanted to replicate this guy's success, I was going to have to commit. And I was going to have to commit to turning my whole entire life around. I literally went from the most extroverted kid in high school, quote unquote, popular in high school, to the most introverted kid. I basically went cold turkey and decided that I needed to cut out all my friends. I was going to cut out all my friends and I was going to isolate myself from school. And during recess and during lunch, I would do cold calls. I would take meetings.
Man, why is business so hard, okay? So I'm gonna call Peter. It's gonna be like, "Hey Peter, it's Jaden, how's it going today?" "Hey Peter, it's Jaden, how's it going today?"
I was also meditating, right? Visualizing and manifesting. I literally told myself I didn't deserve life's pleasures until I was able to make 6 figures, until I was able to hire my mom. And the thing is, guys, a lot of people, they go through monk modes, right, for 3 months. I went through monk modes back and forth for 3 to 4 years. I was just constantly in this mindset. I was going to commit, and I actually went through with that promise. But
Hello, is this Amy?
Yes, it is.
Hey Amy, it's Jaden. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I just have a quick question because I'm actually 16 years old. I'm kind of looking to partner up with a real estate agent, in the area to bring in more sellers or buyers. through paid ads. And I'm actually doing a 1 month free trial just to build my experience and doing all of that. So I was wondering if this is something that is, appeals to you. Maybe we could set up a meeting to talk about.
To the point, after starting my marketing agency, I then signed my first client in 5 months. And this was a real estate agent for $300 a month. I was absolutely flabbergasted, right? I was literally jumping up and down, like shouting. But little did I know, guys, like how incredibly painful this journey was going to be. I was literally anxious 24/7. I was so desperate to make this work. And I remember like how painful this journey was every single night. Like me thinking at night, genuinely, like, am I actually going to make this work? Right. And when you get into entrepreneurship, you kind of fall into other sectors as well. And you get into frequency, vibration, law of attraction. I actually then joined like a program called Mindtrepreneur, and I started doing visualizations every day. Right. I kept doing this, even though I was inconsistent. You can actually even find my playlists here. This was the playlist. This is my latest playlist that I was visualizing to. But anyways, not too long after, I signed my first $2,000 client. And
hello, guys. Welcome to this video. Something crazy happened, and I'm so surprised. Yesterday, I was paid $2,000. I signed my first $2,000 client. He paid yesterday.
The funny thing is that I didn't even close that guy on the phone. He ended up paying me 5 hours later, and I randomly checked my Stripe account, and I literally woke up my mom in the middle of the night. I was shaking her back and forth. And it's crazy now because I closed 15K deals, and like, it's so normal to me, right? Overall though, I spent 4 years running this market agency, making 1 to 4K per month. I was doing everything from cold calling, taking these sales calls, delivering the ads, learning how to sell, how to fulfill. And you guys wouldn't believe it now, but my biggest bottleneck with that business model was that I couldn't close for the life of me. Also, the fact that I was also like addicted to things as well. That just kept me in this roller coaster where I was never progressing to the level I wanted to be because I kept relapsing. And I promise you guys, like, my level of desperation was out of this world. I genuinely thought that, I'm actually not made for this, right? In terms of my sales skill set, I genuinely thought I had the worst voice in the world. I thought that sales was just something that, I should outsource because I was so desperate and I had all these insecurities and these limiting beliefs around sales. And that's exactly what I did. Right. I found a guy on Upwork to take these sales calls with me. His name was Danny. Shout out to Danny. He's like a 34-year-old guy, right? Based in the US. And at the time I was like 15, 16. Because I was 15, I told him basically the way my business operates, we don't use cameras. That's how insecure I was, right? Because I would have jumped on these calls with Danny and we would be there with our cameras off on Google Meets, closing deals. And honestly, like at this point, guys, like my skill set is mind blowing to me. It just shows you how fast life can change. And after spending so much time in the marketing agency world, guys, I decided that this is completely stupid. Trying to run a business like this, trying to operate the way I was operating this business. I then just continued to level up my sales skills, right? And I found this random YouTube video online. I saw this 19-year-old kid like making $40,000 a month. And I was just like absolutely mind blown, right? He was like in the same position as me. He achieved the things that I wanted to achieve. And he was basically located in Perth. And now, guys, like this is the story. This is like the main turning point in my life. And it's pretty much the only reason why I was able to pull this off. And I decided I needed to learn sales. I needed to master this skill set if I was ever going to start a business or ever be a successful entrepreneur, because I was just so bad at sales, right? I just completely lost like 90% of my hope. And this kept going on where, 1 month I'd be making 3K. The next month I'd be making 0. And I think my close rate was like 7%, guys. And one day, I just was like, hey, this kid, decided to reach out to me via IG. We had a chat And I decided to put every single dollar in my bank account towards this guy's mentorship. And everything changed for me at this point onwards, guys. Like my whole paradigm shifted. And essentially, he taught me how to truly get good at this skill set, this one skill set. And if you truly master this skill set, you will reach levels that you can never imagine. And within the first 3 to 4 months of working with him, I went from 1K per month to consistently 10K per month, right? And to hit 10K per month, guys, was honestly not a surreal feeling per se. When you're able to cash collect 100K per month, you just know that you'll never have to work a 9 to 5. And that thought alone gives you a lot of comfort. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, when you guys hit $10,000 per month, it's pretty cool for 3 days. Until you realize like it's absolutely nothing compared to the other guys in this space. Craziest thing is, guys, I was working 3 to 4 hours a day back then, making that much. And the person I am today, guys, is now a completely 100% different person than I was 2 to 3 years ago. In terms of character development, like my attachment to outcomes back then, I don't obsess over anything. Back then I was obsessive, right? All I wanted was to make 10K per month. And now I can confidently say like my skill set is amongst the top 10%. So it's always now on to better and newer heights. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to kind of reach out to me. My IG is there and I respond to almost every single DM, right? I don't like viewing myself as successful because that's exactly when you get complacent. I was there for a good 3 months and still making killer money, guys. And so I'm going to summarize literally everything we covered today, some key takeaways from this video. And the first one, guys, is you guys have to ignite your journey through intensity and commitment, right? You guys genuinely have to have the first few months of your entrepreneurship journey just throwing everything at the wall, trying to make it stick. The second thing, guys, is visualization. Super important, guys. I was doing that consistently. I was visualizing exactly like making, 6 figures, and it's come through. Third thing, guys, is be delusional. You can even watch my first YouTube video, like the podcast. That was when I was like 14 or 13. And yeah, like that's the thought I had back then. Like I told myself, like, I don't see myself ever not being successful. And the fourth thing, guys, is getting a mentor earlier. Like that, if I met my mentor back then when I was 14, I would have been a lot more successful, guys. I would have been in a much better position and way more mature, way more developed, way more wealthier, and just way more skilled. But that's it, guys. Feel free to reach out. Cheers.